It started as background noise, soft static bleeding through the walls of my apartment. At first, I thought it was just an old neighbor's TV or interference from the building's wiring. But when I found the source, the dusty FM radio my father left behind, I realized something was asterisk off. The thing hadn't worked in years. No power, no batteries. And yet every night, exactly at asterisk 3:09 a.m. asterisk, it came alive. Not with music, not with any recognizable station, just a low hum, like someone breathing through a bad connection. Then came the whisper. "Can you hear me now?" The first night, I turned it off immediately, thinking I'd imagined it. But when I woke up in the morning, the radio was still on, and the whisper had changed. "Don't turn me off again." I tried to rationalize it. Old circuits, faulty wiring, some kind of electromagnetic interference. But there was something about the asterisk tone asterisk of the voice, too deliberate, too human, that made me doubt every logical explanation I could come up with. I started recording the sessions. Every night at 3:09, I'd set my phone to record and just wait. At first, the voice said fragments, random words, disconnected syllables. Northfield 27, nowhere. Then one night it said my name, clearly. Daniel. That was the first time I couldn't breathe. It wasn't my imagination, it knew who I was. I checked the recordings the next morning and found nothing but silence. 3 hours of dead air. The next night I didn't record. I just sat there, staring at the old radio, my pulse sinking with the faint static. When 3:09 came, it didn't turn on by itself, so I thought maybe it was over. Then from across the room I heard my own voice. "Daniel, why did you stop listening?" I froze. The sound wasn't coming from the radio, it was coming from my phone. The voice memo app had opened on its own and was playing something I hadn't recorded. My voice on the tape was calm, steady, but the words were wrong. "If you don't answer, he will." Then the radio asterisk clicked on. The air in my apartment shifted like pressure dropping before a storm. The static from the radio grew sharper, more focused, until I could almost make out breathing underneath it. I stood up, but the moment I moved closer, the static asterisk stopped asterisk. A voice came through, clear as if the speaker were standing beside me. "Don't move." I froze. It wasn't my voice this time, it was a woman's. Low, deliberate, like every word was being chosen carefully. "He's here. Stay quiet." My eyes darted around the room. Nothing. Just me, the empty kitchen, the blinking clock reading 3:10 a.m. Then, faintly, I heard another sound behind the voice, a slow drag like shoes scraping across the floorboards. The whisper shifted again. "He's outside your door." I stared at the front door. And then 3 slow knocks. The knocks didn't sound human. Too evenly spaced. Too heavy, like someone wanted asterisk me to know they could wait forever. I didn't move, didn't even breathe. The radio crackled again. "Don't open it." That was enough to convince me. I backed away, step by step, until I was against the wall opposite the door. But the knock stopped, and then I heard something worse. The sound of the asterisk lock turning. I lunged forward and grabbed the handle, cold metal against my palm. It didn't move. It wasn't me turning it. The knob twisted slowly, deliberately, until it clicked once. Then the voice from the radio whispered, almost gently, "He's inside now." The door creaked open. I swear I didn't see anyone come in. The hallway light flickered, and for a second the space beyond my door looked longer than it should have been, stretched, distorted, like the walls were breathing. Then it was gone. Just dark. I slammed the door shut and shoved a chair under the handle, shaking so hard I could barely keep it upright. The radio still hissed softly, like static trying to form words. Then, through the noise, I heard it again, the woman's voice. "You let him in." My throat tightened. "Who are you?" I whispered. "You don't remember me," she said. And something in the tone, a flicker of familiarity, hit me like a cold wave. Before I could answer, the radio let out a loud pop, and every light in the apartment went out at once. Then, through the darkness, her voice changed. It wasn't calm anymore. "Daniel, he's behind you." I turned. Nothing, just black. The air behind me felt heavier, though thick, like static made physical. I could almost taste the electricity in the air, that metallic edge before lightning strikes. Then came the sound, not footsteps. A dragging breath, slow, wet, uneven, like something learning how to breathe for the first time. And when I reached for my phone to use the flashlight, the screen blinked to life on its own. It was recording a video, not of the room of me, but from behind. For a split second, I saw myself standing there, and a tall, black shape just over my shoulder. No face, no form, just shadow with weight. Then the feed cut to static, and the radio screamed. The scream wasn't human, more like 1,000 whispers layered together, pulling at my brain, each one saying my name in a slightly different tone. I dropped the phone, covering my ears, but the sound was inside my head. And then suddenly, silence. I was shaking, crouched on the floor, staring at the faint glow of the radio dial. 3:14 a.m. 5 minutes had passed. When I finally stood, the room felt different, colder, emptier. And then I saw it. On the wall near the radio, carved into the paint with something sharp. 3:09 isn't over. I grabbed a towel, tried to wipe it off, but the words were inside the wall, burned into it somehow, and the second I touched them, the radio turned back on. "You saw him, didn't you?" the woman whispered. "That means he saw you too." I didn't sleep that night. Every time I blinked, I saw that shadow behind me, tall, formless, patient. The next morning, I took the radio outside and smashed it against the concrete until it cracked open like an egg. Nothing inside but dust and wires. I left the pieces in the dumpster, went to work, tried to forget. But when I came home that evening, the radio was back, perfectly clean, sitting exactly where it had always been. And taped to the wall above it was a note, written in block letters, *tune in tonight. I wanted to burn the whole place down. Instead, I poured a drink, sat in the dark, and waited for 3:09. When it came, the voice didn't whisper this time. It spoke clearly. "Daniel, he wants to talk to you himself." The voice that followed wasn't the woman's anymore. It was deeper, rough, jagged, like the sound of gravel grinding in an old throat. When it spoke, I felt it inside my chest, vibrating through my ribs. "You opened the door. Now you listen." The lights dimmed again, flickering in rhythm with the sound. Every time the bulb flashed, the shadows in the corners seemed to move just slightly closer, like they were breathing with me. I tried to pull the radio plug from the wall, but it wouldn't come out. It melted into the socket, like it had fused there. The static thickened until it sounded almost like words hidden under water, bubbling upward from a place too deep to imagine. Then one clear phrase rose above the distortion. "He's still hungry." The air grew colder, and from somewhere near the kitchen, something began to knock, slow, rhythmic, like the sound from the first night. I grabbed a knife and inched toward the sound. Each knock vibrated through the floorboards, syncing perfectly with my pulse. When I reached the kitchen doorway, I realized the noise wasn't coming from the door or the walls. It was coming from under the floor. I knelt down, heart slamming against my ribs. The knocking stopped. Then one answering knock from the radio behind me. I turned. The dial had changed. It was no longer glowing at 90.5. It was flickering between two frequencies, 3 and 9. And through the speakers came the faintest sound of someone laughing, Not loud, not even human. Just this wet, breathy chuckle that sent every nerve in my body on fire. I whispered, "What do you want from me?" And the voice replied, calm, deliberate, "Just your frequency." I didn't understand what it meant until I saw the reflection in the microwave. For a fraction of a second, my face was off. My mouth was still, but my reflection was smiling. Then I heard static, not from the radio, from inside my ears. Like the frequency had moved into me. I stumbled backward, clutching my head. The laughter was closer now, whispering directly into my thoughts. I could feel it adjusting, tuning me like a station. "Perfect signal," it said. "He can hear you now." The radio's light blinked out and the apartment went silent again. No sound, no breath, no hum, only a faint hiss coming from inside my skull. Then a single whisper from everywhere at once. 3:09 isn't the time. It's the asterisk doorway. I didn't sleep. I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard that faint static hum like my brain was a radio that wouldn't turn off. By morning, I'd packed a bag and left my apartment without looking back. I booked a motel an hour away, somewhere off the highway, where I figured no signal could follow me. When I plugged in my phone that night, it immediately buzzed. One new voicemail. No caller ID. Timestamp. 3:09 am. I shouldn't have listened. But curiosity is stronger than fear, or maybe it's the same thing wearing a different mask. When I hit play, I heard myself. Daniel, my voice said, calm, almost sleepy. Don't run, you're still broadcasting. The message ended with the faint hum of static. And when I looked up, the motel alarm clock was flashing 3:09. I ripped the clock out of the wall. The cord sparked and the power went out completely. No lights, no hum, just silence. For a few seconds, I actually believed it was over. Then the radio turned on, except there was no radio in the room. The sound came from the TV this time, white noise crawling through the speakers, forming that same pattern of whispers I'd tried to forget. The woman's voice returned, soft, frightened. Daniel, he's closer now. I shouted at the screen, who is he? What does he want? The static crackled and the woman's tone shifted lower, resigned. You shouldn't have answered the first night. Now he's tuned through you. My reflection in the dark TV glass smiled just slightly and whispered, you're the antenna. The walls began to hum, not loud but deep enough to make my teeth ache. The bed vibrated, dust rising from the carpet in tiny spirals. Then, like a pulse through the floor, came a sound I'll never forget. A asterisk heartbeat asterisk in static form. Boom. Buzz, boom, buzz. It was steady, alive, and it was inside the signal. I tried to unplug the TV, but the plug wouldn't budge. It felt alive, twitching under my fingers like a vein. The sound kept growing louder until I couldn't tell if the beating was from the walls or from my own chest. Then his voice came through. You're clearer now. Stay still. I'm almost there. The static built until it became a roar, and for a single second the entire room blinked, and I saw something standing right behind me. It wasn't a shadow this time. It had asterisk shape. Tall, too tall for the ceiling, its head bent slightly forward like it was waiting to fit inside the room. Its body was made of distortion, waves of static, like the air itself couldn't decide whether to exist or not. And in the middle of that storm of gray noise, two faintly glowing eyes, pulsing like the numbers on a clock. I couldn't move. Every instinct told me to run, but my body felt pinned to the floor by invisible hands. The TV flickered violently, showing flashes of my own face, distorted, screaming silently, bleeding pixels. Then the voice filled the room again, deeper now, almost echoing from asterisk inside my skull. You're transmitting perfectly. Now open your mouth. I didn't want to, but my jaw moved on its own. A burst of static poured out of my throat, loud and electric, like a radio station made of pain. And through it I could hear something asterisk talking back. The sound wasn't human. It came in layers, one voice on top of another, all whispering different versions of my name, all in perfect rhythm with the heartbeat still shaking the walls. Daniel, Daniel, Daniel. Each repetition grew clearer, closer, until it sounded like a chorus of asterisk me. My own voice multiplied and warped. I slammed my hands over my ears, but the sound was inside me now, reverberating behind my eyes. Then one voice broke through the rest, sharp and loud. You shouldn't fight the signal. I shouted into the static. What are you? The answer came instantly. I'm what's left when silence dies. The TV exploded in a shower of sparks, plunging the room into total darkness. And from that darkness, I heard the hum again, faint, rhythmic, pulling me toward the corner of the room. The humming grew stronger the closer I got, vibrating the air, tugging at my chest like an invisible magnet. When I reached the wall, I saw something that shouldn't have been there, a faint circle of light, drawn into the plaster, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. The exact shade of the radio's glow. My fingers moved on their own. I touched it. The moment I did, everything stopped. No sound, no breath, just a static silence so deep it felt like the world was holding its breath with me. Then the wall rippled like water, and a hand, black, featureless, made entirely of static, reached through and pressed against my chest. Not to hurt me, to asterisk tune asterisk me. 309 is now. You're the broadcast. I tried to scream, but the sound that came out wasn't human. It was the radio. The static poured out of me like a storm. My vision fractured, layers of my own apartment overlapping with flashes of other places, other rooms, all lit by the same cold 309 glow. I saw faces, hundreds, maybe thousands people screaming in silence, each with a faint circle of light on their chest, just like mine. The voice spoke again, but now it came from everywhere, the walls, the floor, my own mouth. The signal was never meant to be heard. You amplified it. The hand inside me pressed deeper. I felt it searching, like it was tuning through my memories. I saw flashes, my father tinkering with that same radio decades ago, whispering into it, saying something about frequencies between life and death. The realization hit me like a wave of ice. The radio wasn't cursed. It was asterisk inherited. You're his echo, the voice said softly, and he's still calling. Then the hum returned, stronger, shaking the walls until the plaster cracked and the entire motel seemed to breathe in static. I woke up on my apartment floor. Morning light spilled through the blinds. The radio sat quietly on the table, clean, unbroken, just like the day I found it. For a brief, blissful second, I thought it had all been a dream. Then I saw the burn mark on my chest, a perfect circle, faintly glowing. I tried to leave. The front door opened easily. The city outside was still, too still. No cars, no birds, just that low, constant hum in the distance. When I turned back toward my apartment, every window in the building flickered with the same dim orange light. 3:09 a.m. frozen on every clock. I looked down at my phone. The screen was black. Then words began to appear one by one like someone was typing from the other side. You're clear now. They can all hear you. And then faintly from somewhere far away, radios began turning on. One by one. Broadcast complete.